Yes, I have no hair. But welcome one and all to another Trafford Talk Live fan review. But can we call it a review? Because the second half to that semi-final, one of the best second halves I've seen Manchester United play in such a long time. And a terrific performance from the lads out there to trounce Roma 6-2. And I don't think even any of us at halftime would have thought, would score 1 or 2 in the second half, let alone 5. Fantastic second half. A great performance by everyone involved, especially tonight's by far man of the match, Eddie Cavani. Where he got that scarf from, I don't know, but that must have given him the right old kick up the backside to give United the bounce they needed up front side. Superb performance from him and from Fernandes too. Pogba played a stunning role. To see him finally score another United goal. They're like 10 in a penny nowadays, and he smashed one in for United later on in the second half. We're just, I'm so happy that we're looking to run away from Roma in the first leg properly as well, to get the job done and now more or less put one foot in the Europa League final. Fantastic, man. Honestly, fantastic. This is everyone's chance to come into the show, as obviously this is not just a show for the regulars, it's a show for everybody else. We will hopefully we'll get as many people on to voice their opinions on tonight's game and tell me what you think. How impressed were you with the second half? Was there things in the first half that would worry you for Sunday against Liverpool? How does Ollie fix that? Did United themselves do as a collective? Did they get the job done? Are we going to Gdansk? I hope we are, but it's almost too good to be true. I hope the link is in the Twitter feed. It is in the YouTube description if you do want to join us. Have a look over there, and you'll be able to join in this particular show. But what a game! What a fantastic match, and a performance that even I didn't think we'd come in tonight thinking we'd win by this margin at the end. But ultimately, it proves that Manchester United are simply irresistible when they're in full flight. And the goals they scored tonight as well, the caliber of goals scored tonight were simply outrageous. Just outrageous. I have not seen a more remarkable set of goals than the ones United scored tonight. Pogba's header, emphatic. Cavani's second goal, a lovely curling finish, top-class goal scoring. The first goal between Pogba, Fernandes and Cavani with the interlinking play. The finish from Fernandes. It's absolutely remarkable. It's simply fantastic. And, oh my words. Words fail me, as I say. Words fail me at this point. But bravo, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Bravo to Manchester United. They took on a side in Roma. Yes, they're 7th in Serie A. But when we did get pegged back, it was for a penalty that was nearly as much not a penalty as where is Pogba's arm going to go. The poor fella had no idea what to do in that situation. Shouldn't have been a penalty, but it happened. They score it. Pellegrini slots it home well. And the second is the more remarkable one, where the frailties, to be able to dampen a little bit, the frailties of United are caught out again. Fred's out of position. McTominay have all drifted to the one side of the pitch. Pellegrini again, who scored the penalty, free to make the run in behind of Fred. Sort of like how we describe it as you have Pellegrini here, Fred's there. Pellegrini just goes behind him and makes that run towards the front post, or the Dzeko finish at the back post, where United was more or less opened up. And again, that was just sublime. It was sublime for Roma in that period. But the response, an adequate response, a perfect response from Manchester United. And they deserve the plaudits tonight. The players, the coaching staff, for keeping it going and for encouraging them just to go out and play football. It's, harking back to Ollie's early days as a United coach. And it deserves the plaudits tonight for that fantastic performance. The returns of Sporting and Mkhitaryan, I felt like that they had something to prove tonight, and at points they did, but in the end, they were part of a well-beaten side, and my goodness, was it outrageous. I'm just on our national provider for the Europa League, which is BT for us here in the UK. We're seeing a second goal again, and there's Scholes and Hargreaves dissecting it. It's a lovely ball from Pogba to find Cavani. Fernandes dragging out two players for Cavani, gets the ball back from Fernandes, and then he smashed it into the corner. Terrific finish. His first goal as well from Cavani was exquisite as well. We'll talk more about that and all sorts afterwards, but let's just get right into it because I've waffled for 5 whole minutes now. Still delirious. I want to hear what somebody else thinks. So here's esteemed owner of said channel and man responsible for everything, Robbie. Hello, sir. Hello. How are you? Did you, in your wildest dreams, expect that kind of performance in the second half?
It was an absolute roller coaster. I mean, the first half, wow, I was like, this is going to be the semi-final curse. But I think we've almost guaranteed a spot in the final, the Europa League now. So, I mean, I'm so happy about it. I can't believe that it's actually happened in the way it has, because the second half, Roma came out and played, which I was just expecting to sit in, play their away goals, and take it back to Italy, but they didn't. They came out and played, and they get caught out. At the end of the day, they get completely caught, and I mean, yeah, for me, it was just such an enjoyable game to watch. I couldn't keep my eyes off it, especially the first half was very frustrating, but especially in the second half where, pretty much everything went our way. I would say, for me, I don't know, man the match. I mean, I'm seeing it obviously at the bottom of the screen. I made this was your man the match, but I probably agree with you. I think I'd need to go with Cavani. How good was he tonight? Because, I mean, the way he played, he's just an absolute presence up front, which we've not had for a while. And we haven't, like, Martial gives us something different. He gives us like an outlet, but it's not like a Cavani type player where, I mean, his first goal, where he took it on the kind of half volley, it was almost like that. It was great. I absolutely loved it. And it was such a hard goal to score. And then obviously went on and scored penalties with Bruno. And I mean, they did make it difficult for us in the first place. So yeah, I think the first half was absolutely terrible. And I felt as if we were going to go back to, the semi-final curse, which I have been talking about on Twitter for the last few while. And then we went on to the second half and it was just like, what has happened? Like, what the hell did you say at half time? All the players, because I was just watching it and I was like, surely that must be something to do with the manager. Surely that must be them wanting to play for him, express himself. Because I felt that's what we've seen. Ahmed, I mean, maybe you can jump into this, but I just felt as if they were just playing with so much freedom, which I've not seen for a while. And I think it was honestly one of the best performances I've seen. 5 goals in the second half. 5 goals against Roma. It's not just like a poor side who are struggling. It's not even what we've had in the last few rounds. It's Roma, probably the second in line to win it.
Incredible, to be honest. It's like I was just saying in the beginning before you jumped in that was probably one of the most unique performances from a United side that I've seen in the time I've watched them. To literally go out from being 2-1 down at half time. However, Oli said and the coaching staff said, they have to get credit for the sheer nature of getting them out there, playing with freedom, the confidence, and the overall verve to go out and completely thump them without even giving them a sniff. Not so much of a sniff. They had a period where they could have. I think Xhaka Mistad had a chance when he was set up by Pellegrini, which Harry Maguire did so well to stop him from getting anything near the ball. But outside of that, it was the only threat in the second half that I can remember United having against this Roma side. Yes, they're 7th in Serie A. they can sometimes flatter to deceive. But tonight they played not the kind of football I was expecting, and it sort of helped United in many ways. We're talking about the interchanging because they can't deal with the quick play against them in front of their penalty area. They couldn't in areas cover gaps, and that plus the fact they were forced into 3 changes in the first half without making any at half time, because you can't make you can have 5 substitutions, but you have to make them at 3 points in the game. That could have played a factor because the same 11 players are out there. They're getting tired. They're getting lethargic. It played into United's hands more and more, and they started to find spaces that they could exploit because they're the fitter team, they're the stronger team, they're more clinical. In the end, that factor, plus the fact they lost a few key players to injury, has played into United's advantage tonight. And yes, 1 foot in the final, of course. We can't say for sure we're there because we still need to, cover the base of next week.
Ahmed, come on. They're not going to beat us 4-0.
Well, true, but football's a funny game. We say this. I have optimism from the outset that we'll be fine next week in Rome. Just, they're historically known for pulling off a comeback. So let's not. I'm trying not to be too happy, but
I think we got very lucky, Ahmed, as well. The fact that Veretout went off injured early on because he's a good player. I'm not saying that he's an absolute game changer, but he's a vital player in the team.
Yes.
It was one of those things where, as the game went on, we kind of grew into it more, and I'm happy it's over because it was an absolute roller coaster, and that is the way to describe it, roller coaster.
Absolutely.
Because it was just up and down constantly, and at half time I was like, "Oh, his job's definitely going to be on the line. All these players are going to get scrutinised terribly," and then that happens. But I've got a question for you actually, and it's: do you think that was a penalty?
The first one?
The first one, Pogba.
Yeah, I said it at the opening of the show. Where can Pogba put his arm? Because from experience as a player, I've had having played in a position not where Pogba obviously gave away the penalty, but as a fullback, I've learned not to when I'm sliding for the ball, let my hands go dilly-dally like this. And a coach once told me, when you're sliding for the ball in your own penalty area, the one thing you want to do at the very best is to use your arms in a way where you're not making it look as if they're looking to use your arm as a prop for them to get a penalty. Unfortunately, Pogba's been given, had the digression of it being given against him simply because his arm is, yes, in an unnatural position, but where is he meant to put it? Because, it's like this initially and then going backwards over his side as the ball hits him. So,
I mean, do you not think, though, that, I know you're talking about the hand position, and for me, it's natural. I think you can't go into a slide tackle like that. I was a fullback as well. I mean, I now do refereeing, so I'm kind of past that stage. But I gave away a few penalties in my time, but not actually for a handball because, referees at a lower level would not get scrutinised as heavily for not giving it. Obviously, because there's a factor that needs to get brought into play of the ball actually hit off him before it hit off his arm, and seeing that split second of it's in the rule books, and that split second where it hits your body and it deflects. That's the key word on his hand.
It can't be a penalty.
There's absolutely nothing he can do. And looking back on it, that could have been a game-changing moment. But I mean, I think we've grown from the Sheffield United game, where we were like, I can remember we were sitting after that game, and we were like, I mean, the decision didn't go our way. I mean, we almost blamed it on that, and it's got to the point now where, yes, the decisions aren't going our way, most of them, but we're actually finding a way to overcome it by just simply outplaying the opposition, which we haven't done for a while before that. Before the Sheffield United game, we were relying on certain decisions to go our way, and after that game, I've just seen improvements, determination as well, and it was clear that there must have been something said at half time to push the guys to actually basically bury the tie in the first leg, which is job done, and I'm happy. I cannot complain at all.
Would you say, Robbie, just to give you a point that I raised earlier, they had 3 injuries. You mentioned there 2. They lost Pau Lopez and they lost Spinazzola as well. So in the first half, because they made 3 changes, it sort of didn't help them as much in the second half with their players having already played 45 minutes, having to stick with the same 11 out there to play the rest of the game. Would you say, while United was so good in the second half, would you say it was a contributing factor to Roma's demise in the end?
No, because these guys are professional footballers at the end of the day.
Italian football, I know these players are prime athletes and stuff, but exactly. They don't take the fitness or the longevity of the games by the looks of it seriously.
And that's why the Premier League's the best in the world, because we've got the longevity, we've got the players. Yes, we do get injuries, but if you put our 11 players out in that park and we played on the Saturday, we play the early kick-off on the next Saturday, and then we obviously play the game tonight as well, I can guarantee you we'd still be running to the end of the game. I felt as if, especially Cristante, I felt as if he was literally just kind of lost towards the end of the game. I think his legs just kind of collapsed on him. And it kind of goes to show that, as you said, they don't take that as seriously. But over here, it's getting drilled into us for doing hill runs and things like that from such a young age. Which I think is a vital part of football. You should be able to rely on your 11 players at the end of the day. So no, I don't think it is an excuse. And I suppose every team has injuries. We've used that excuse in the past, and I'm kind of done with using excuses, because at the end of the day, we should be beating Roma by 4 goals. I didn't think that would be the case. But even if you do say they were maybe fatigued towards the end of the game, mate, they still shouldn't be conceding that many goals. I know we would obviously get one late on, maybe even that one. But we're talking about the penalty giveaway and things like that. That was early on. That was like kind of whenever the second half started. So for me, I need to disagree.
No, fair enough.
I think, as you said, mate, they're elite athletes and top of their game. They should be top of their fitness levels too.
I think it's something maybe they might not have seen coming, which I think is a contribution in the end to them losing the game in the way that they did. Yes, making 3 subs in the first half for unfortunate injuries isn't good. It happened to us against Liverpool, ironically, 2 years ago. But in that scenario, I feel it may not have been the whole reason United won tonight. I feel like fans will use that as an excuse, not United fans per se, but their rival fans, Arsenal fans, others will use that as an excuse for saying, well, in the end, they got away with it. But look, at the end of the day, if you can't sort your own house, you have no reason to come at ours. So, tuck your toe between your legs and move on. But tonight was an example for me of what, as you said, Ollie's been trying to do since the Sheffield United defeat in February, or late January, sorry, to keep this team focused on the entire goal. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Very quickly, Robbie, then moving on towards the later on in the week. We have obviously got now the second leg coming up, but yes, the priority is now Liverpool on Sunday. We've got the job practically done tonight. We're all but in the final, pending a stupid comeback. So what are you hoping for Liverpool on Sunday?
So we don't give up. For me, I wouldn't give up, and I wouldn't tell my team to give up until it's mathematically impossible. I think the league's gone, but you just never know in football. You never know what can happen.
Well, City got shaky yesterday against Paris in stages. Yes, they made a great comeback, but
I think that almost shows, though, how resilient they are. That whenever they do play bad in the first half, and we've done that as well. Whenever we both play bad in the first half, we can just pull it back and turn on the style, which most teams can't do. Liverpool, if we go 1-0 up, I just think they'll kind of shut off, because I think this year especially, we're leaps and bounds ahead and above of Liverpool, which is so surprising. I did not expect to say that, and it is because Virgil van Dijk's, injured because of Jordan Pickford. But you can't rely on one player in a team. Yes, I think that say Bruno Fernandes was injured for us, we would suffer, but I don't think we'd suffer as heavily as maybe Liverpool have due to Virgil van Dijk's absence, because football is more than just one guy at the end of the day. So yeah, I think we should definitely go out and try and win and push Man City right to the last game of the season, hopefully.
So one more question for you: Villarreal or Arsenal?
Couldn't care less, mate. They're both pretty bad. So, I mean, what was the score? I literally don't even care.
Villarreal won 2-1 tonight, but
God. Okay, Shevelos gets sent off. Yes, so he did.
2 players were sent off for both. One player was sent off on each side.
Oh, right.
So it was quite a heated game. Arsenal get away with it tonight. However, I don't think they're going to have it all their own way at home next week. It will be a very difficult game for them at the Emirates. So, who we get in the final, I don't know.
I actually hope Unai Emery just wins, just for a laugh, just so we can watch Arsenal fan TV and all the Arsenal fans on Twitter go crazy because Unai Emery, the public enemy number 1 for Arsenal. I mean, he won't pick up the trophy, we'll win, but beat them at the final, that would be great. But no,
fingers crossed.
In the grand scheme of things, mate, I could not care less. I think we should be, evens on. We should be able to win this. And it's almost like, whenever we beat Ajax in the final, it needs to just be like a professional performance, get the job over and done with. But we can't do it. Mourinho done and just give up the league. We need to just keep going as well, because we've got the squad depth.
Yeah.
To do that.
Absolutely. Robbie, thank you very, very much, my friend. I'm happy for you. You have the Scottish smile never fails to shine, and it always does a good job even on a gloomy day. Hopefully, we'll speak to you on Sunday night. But until then, mate, pleasure to have you on. I'll see you on Sunday. Yeah. Take care, pal. There's a good old Robbie. Thank you very much to him for coming on. As always, our esteemed, man who holds our entire channel on his hind legs. A quick reminder, everyone, before I bring our next guest in, is, as always, please like, subscribe for YouTube. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers, a modest little channel on Sport Man United. We'd love for you to help us get up to 200 subscribers. Subscribers is even, I can't even find the words right now. Well, let's do that first. Get us to 200. Hit a like as well. Give us 10 at best. And then on Twitter, if you're watching this too, please retweet this out there and like if you wish. And follow us for more. We have plenty more stuff coming up. We've been away for a bit because a lot of commitments for everybody. But we're going to bring on now esteemed mafia owner and extremely unusual human being who requires therapy. Good evening, Alexi. Welcome, sir. A pleasure to have you on. I understand you are worse for wear today, but we're going to start with your reaction to an absolutely ridiculous second half performance by Manchester United of the red side.
Well, firstly, Ahmed, I'd like to say I like your haircut very much. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
I think we've both been in need of one throughout lockdown, and obviously we've both finally got one, which is nice.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've been on Alton Towers and a roller coaster constantly, just spinning round. Like, I feel so happy but so emotionally drained, because that was stressful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was so stressful. You go from being 2-1 down and thinking we're in trouble to 6-2.
Yes.
To be fair, though, I was thinking about this a minute ago. I can't think of many better second half performances from Man United in the last ever. I mean, there probably is some that I've just forgotten because I'm so hyped, but 5 goals in one half. I mean, we're the first team ever to score 6 goals in a European semi-final. And I think what was really important for me, I tweeted at half-time saying that it's a big 45 minutes now for these players because they need to prove that they're not bottlers. And they really did prove they weren't bottlers in that second half. And, ultimately, we're one win away now from finally winning a trophy, because we could lose 3-0. I mean, it's not preferable. Obviously, I don't want it to happen, but we could lose 3-0 against Roma and still go through. I thought, like obviously, there's a lot of reasons why we won 6-2, but Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, and Cavani were all 10 out of 10s when it mattered. I thought even though we struggled in the first half, those three were really, really good. I mean, Paul Pogba tonight, I know Bruno and Cavani are going to get kind of all the plaudits, maybe rightly so, but Paul Pogba was absolutely outrageously good. Like, he was incredible, absolutely incredible. And ultimately, you need your world-class players to step up in times like this, and they did. I mean, it's really funny because this feels like ages ago. When Cavani didn't pass it?
Yeah.
I was really annoyed at him. Then he just kind of went, oh, okay, I'm going to prove you all wrong, He just went and scored, like, loads of goals. And, we need to keep him now. Like, that needs to happen. I don't think we will, but the guy's 34 and he's putting in world-class performances in European semi-finals. He was absolutely... I can't put into words how good those three were, and all this talk of us bottling stuff. I mean, I think that going 2-1 down gave us the kick we needed, as usual, obviously, because we used that 2-1 deficit, and it was like going into a zoo and just poking a lion. They just kind of poked us, and we just ate them, And do you know what as well? And I heard you speaking to Robbie about this. I thought the penalty decision was just, the first one was just so ridiculous, because they're basically punishing Paul Pogba for being tall. Because if it was Fred, obviously the ball wouldn't have hit his arm because he would have been at a lower center of gravity or whatever. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. And the referee, again, as in all these Europa League games, the referee was so bad. I mean, I thought maybe it was Graham Souness at points, because there was a point where Pogba basically kind of ran past the goalkeeper, and then the goalkeeper went down holding his face, and then Pogba got a yellow card. And I thought it was a joke.
Oh, dear.
Not a very funny one. I thought it was a joke.
Carlos,
the referee is terrible.
Carlos del Celo Grande, the Spanish referee tonight, he hasn't covered himself in glory, to be honest with you, with that one. I'm baffled by that too. But, at the end of the day, as long as he doesn't get himself in trouble next Thursday night, we should be okay. We will be fine. But let's talk about, you spoke about the world-class players and how desperately we might need to, unintentionally, infect him with COVID-19, which will keep him in the UK permanently, just so that we can get him to sign a contract or something like that. I'm not saying we should. I'm not wishing it on anyone or him in particular.
You advocating abduction, Ahmed?
Well, we might need to do that, to be honest with you, Alexi.
Yeah.
He is such a great player to have around the club. For the benefit of Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford, who take, I think, the valuable experience that he carries with him to Old Trafford, and to deliver in a way that he's done is remarkable. If I'm not mistaken, he has got double figures for the season. So that, for me, is also a very big thing for us, knowing that we've now got an actual striker, not so much that we think Martial doesn't, deliver enough. He has done enough this season for us to prove that we need to do anything we can, not only to keep Cavani, but to also strengthen our cause to get another striker in. And
that's the really big point, isn't it? I think what it's shown is, for this system Ollie wants to play, we need a striker that fits the profile of Cavani, basically. Because if Cavani's not there, we have to sign a replacement for Cavani now, because this isn't anything against Martial. I love Martial, singing his name at the protest on Saturday. But yeah, I just think Cavani's movement, I mean, it was just ridiculous. I can't remember which goal it was, but he just absolutely lashed it in the top corner, and then it was
the second one at the beginning of the second half.
It's outrageous. and his pass to Greenwood as well. And he's just all-round movement as a forward is what you want. So, yeah, I mean, I think if Cavani does go, we have to get someone in now, really, because he's that good. And it's at the point with Cavani now where it's like, I think, because I've watched Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I've watched, you probably have as well, all the European games. He's the best player I've seen in all of those games.
Agreed.
Like, if he was playing for Real Madrid right now or PSG, he'd be talked about as just ridiculous. And on Bruno Fernandes, like, this always happens with him that a few, I don't want to say idiots, but a few people with questionable, no, I'm just going to say idiots start questioning Bruno Fernandes, and then he kind of just goes, oh, all right. Because it wasn't just the fact he scored. Like, he was just putting in ridiculous passes constantly. Like, he was so good. I just don't know what to...
Oh, my.
That man, when I get married, he's going to be the best man. Like, I've already decided. Like, and, you know, Bruno's best man. Cavani can be involved in the nuptial somehow. Maybe get him on the karaoke or something. Give it to Eddie Cavani.
I could sing that all night, to be honest with you, mate. I could sing that all night.
And you know what it is as well? It's been, for football in general, this last 2 weeks. I mean, the reason I think all of us haven't been doing many of these recently, like podcasts, is I just felt so mentally drained.
Same here, mate.
It's awful. Like, that last week was terrible. You know, everything that was going on with football. But this is the first kind of positive thing that's happened since all that happened. And it just feel nice to watch your team win 6-2 in the European tie and go, yeah, this is what football's about, innit? It's not about them trying to take the game away from us. And obviously, Sunday, the protest will still happen. I advocate anyone who can go down to go down. But I think the good thing about us winning tonight is those protests on Sunday will just be fully directed for the reasons they should be. Obviously, the Glazer ownership. There won't be any anger towards Ollie or the players. And to be fair, even a lot of players, people at the last protest who I saw there, who I know don't like Ollie very much, they didn't go on about Ollie. They were just focused on the message about the Glazers, you know.
Excellent.
And, you know, I think we've got a really good chance at getting the Glazers at the club. But obviously, back to the original point, got a really good chance of winning this Europa League. Now, Ahmed, we had a conversation 2 weeks ago. I jokingly said, you know, do you think you could get us into the final? You know, I know you've got some links.
I tried. I'll publicly state this. I asked a couple of peeps over in Switzerland, and you know, the Poles aren't keen on us all hopping over at once, but they're a little bit apprehensive about the idea. Let's see what happens. That's all I can say. The only update I have is with traffic talk. We don't know yet if we're all going to Gdansk or not, but at the present moment, it's a little bit fishy in terms of with our scenario in England, the COVID pandemic and everything. We're vaccinating people quickly, yes, but it's still a mess, isn't it? It's still a mess. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. All I can say is just for me, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I mean, even if I don't go there because of playing a part for UEFA, but I will go there just for the sake of being there. Doesn't matter what. Family can say whatever they like. I will be there for God knows whatever reason. Just to see. One way or another, just end up in Poland and meet up in the middle of nowhere or in the middle of the Gdansk region. Mate, it's remarkable. Honestly, it's remarkable. The thought of it as well is, my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, the one sad thing about tonight was obviously that there weren't fans there again, because we've seen us beat Leeds 6-2, Roma 6-2, Southampton 9-0, Leipzig 5-0 this season.
4 massive goals. All those with fans. That would have been like the most... I would have been happy to sleep in Manchester Piccadilly train station all night long thinking about those goals if I had to.
And that's
saying something, because that's what I normally do when I go to Old Trafford. I don't go straight home because there's no way out, obviously. But I'd sleep happily knowing we've just beaten this team 6-0. We've just beaten them 9-0. We've beaten this team 6-0, 6-2. Oh, The
It's just the
thoughts,
adrenaline, isn't it?
the adrenaline would keep pumping for hours at 3 a.m. in the morning. It's
I think there's a 24-hour Sainsbury's on the station as well, so you can get.
I think so.
What you need.
I think so. Well, we used to close at midnight. We're talking about fish and food here, boys and girls. It's ridiculous. Look, I'm excited. I think we're in all but in the final. More or less now, just have to make sure we get there. But
don't like. Can we not?
Football's a funny game, Alexi.
No.
You know, they've done it before.
You say it's a funny game, but if we lose 5-0, I will not be laughing. I can assure you.
No,
I will be. I think I will leave this channel. I think I will leave Twitter. I think I will probably leave Manchester.
You know that cave you said you would dig if City won the Champions League? Is there space for one more, mate?
Yeah. Do you know what?
They might need to join you there.
Do you know what's really on the cards now? Is a Manchester United against Manchester City
Super Cup final.
Super Cup final in wherever that is. And by
because
then,
what Chelsea beat City, didn't they? And that was we won't get to play them in August. So yeah. Incredible.
So that's really on the cards there. So we could be. I mean, the thing is, if the Super Cup is in August, you know, all being well with Boris Johnson and his wallpaper and his flat and his various comments, we should
also go there.
Yeah, so we could very feasibly. I mean, it could be full attendance. We just don't know for that. I mean, I know it's looking a bit far ahead now.
Where is it this year? This year's UEFA Super Cup is in Belfast. Okay. So that is not only within reach, but we can all go there
very easily.
It's so easy. That's really very close. Windsor Park in Belfast will host this year's Super Cup final. If we win that and City or Chelsea win the Champions League, we meet them at Windsor, in Windsor Park. That's incredible. I'd love to go there. I'd love to go that one. That would be a great excuse to go to Northern Ireland. Been always wanted to go there, but to be a good...
It's only 200 miles away.
On a ferry, plus a plane, plus a car to Belfast. Oh, that's a dream and a half. All I did was type it in. Wednesday, August the 11th. If we're to get there, though, we need to win the Europa League first. And in order to do that, Alexi, we've got to win the final. So I've asked Robbie this.
I've just found I found my route to Belfast. I don't know if you can see that.
There we go. Oh my word! 6 minutes to the bus stop, and then goodness, that's what kind of journey.
So you got to get a mega bus to Glasgow.
Yeah.
And then you got to go from Glasgow to Stena, and
I think so. Yeah.
Another bus to Belfast. So if I left now, I'd be there in 12 hours.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Probably don't need to plan our route to Belfast yet, but.
I mean, the trophy is on BT Sports Studio. I can't stop looking at it. The thought that we could lift it in a few weeks' time is it's really like it's impossible to fathom at this moment, Alexi. Really hard not to think we could do it. But also the fact that Super Cup's on these shores this year, it brings us a huge opportunity, not only for us to be there, but to also experience what I hope is a chance for United to end that annoying Super Cup hoodie. But go on, get there first. Now, the other question. Villarreal or Arsenal? Who would you prefer in the final? Because with us being in a commanding lead... Huh?
Can we just play Roma again in the final?
We could. But tonight it was a 2-0 win for Villarreal. Both sides went down a man, so they'll miss them in the second leg. But... based on what I've seen, Villarreal, of course, great football team under Unai Emery. They really are. They're really good. They're a really good football team. Arsenal, on the other hand, they struggled. They sort of lumbered their way into a defeat, albeit coming back with a penalty to have a crucial away goal. Could it be possible that we meet them instead of Villarreal in the final? I don't know.
Do you know what Villarreal are? They would just be like Sevilla Mark II because they are a Spanish team who we always used to draw 0-0 with, but are also managed by the man who, I mean, he's had more Europa Leagues and he's had hot meals, I think. Like, he's got so many Europa Leagues. Like, he probably actively uses them as mugs for his tea. Like, he's got so many. And yeah, see, now I think about it, I think I'd rather play Arsenal.
It's a fair point.
Like, he knows how to win this competition, Emery. And like, but actually, no. Sorry, I've changed my mind. I'd rather play Villarreal because losing to Arsenal would be, that would not be fun. I don't think we would lose, but obviously, if we did, that would not be fun at all. So yeah, I think, to be honest, either way, if you'd said to me at the start of the season, you just have to beat Villarreal or Arsenal to win the Europa League, you go, all right, go on. I mean, where are Villarreal in La Liga, Ahmed?
I think Villarreal outside of the top 4. They're in 6th position, but they are in the hunt for possibly being in this competition next season, all being well. So who knows with that? Who knows?
So it's either 6th in Spain or 10th in England.
Oh, sorry, 7th. Well, a point behind 6th place. That's close enough.
So it's either 7th in Spain or 10th in England.
Yeah,
you can't complain about that. And to be honest,
problem is 10th place are going in there with everything to lose. We have nothing to lose, so it's a catch-22, not for us, but for them. Whoever goes to the final, because they both need goals. They both need a win, regardless of who we meet. We will be the favourites by far, just based on league position and how well we've played this season. Whereas they will have a whole different problem to deal with on the basis that for Villarreal, they win. They have the Europe. They're back in the Champions League, but with a not so good team for Champions League football. Whereas Arsenal, no for way are they even going to get out of the group stage next season, let alone.
Sorry, it's a really random question. It's changing the subject a bit.
Go on.
Arsenal get knocked out next week of the Europa League and they come 10th, do you think Arteta loses his job?
Of course. Yeah.
Do you think he does?
The fans are already angry like we are with the Glazers. The fans are already angry with the ownership over at Arsenal. Well, they've been angry for over 15 or so years, similar to us. So I wouldn't put it past them to, call on their chief executive to tell him to up sticks and, move on with that. Because what's the point, really? You can't keep playing like this week in, week out, or seeing your manager not able to construct a way of beating a certain team or dealing with this mediocrity for a long time. It's either stick or twist, and I think they've got a twist at some point with Arteta, but that I think can only happen if they don't make it to the final. So who knows?
Because I think, ultimately, if you look at it objectively, coming 8th and 10th with Arsenal in your first 2 seasons isn't good enough. And he obviously did have Partey given to him in the window. He's got Odegaard. I know he's not been backed loads, but it's like with us with Ollie. Even though we were all backing him, you did kind of need a sign that there was a bit of progression. So obviously I'm not saying coming 3rd was like a trophy or anything like that, but it just showed we're getting, it's a sign that things are going okay. It was coming 10th. It's hard to argue that Arsenal were making any progress as a football club when you think Emery left them in 6th or something. I don't know where he left them, but so it's hard for them to justify that as progress. And someone said on Twitter the other day, if Arteta was at Chelsea, Abramovich would have sacked him about 7 times by now.
Oh no.
It's true, though, isn't it?
It is. Well, he wields his axe like he wields most of his. I don't know. A good example. He wields his axe more than he eats his dinner. So there you go. Saves you the hassle, and his dinner's full of caviar. But mate, it's mad. I think really, whoever we get in the final, I want us to treat it the way we did tonight and Ajax in 2017. Different, maybe it might be different because the major difference I will see in that game compared to this one will be that this time we're playing on with more confidence, a little bit more like know-how of how to get over a big hurdle in terms of like big games like City this season, the Liverpool FA Cup tie, the performances we've had away from home this season against the Big Six. Okay, we drew 0-0 against Arsenal, but we didn't look wholly that bad. It had airs of potential about it, but now it's just about executing it. Also, Europe, I forgot to mention that. Sociedad, Paris Saint-Germain, away from home as well. Leipzig, Old Trafford, all Europa League running. We've gone on now with Milan knocking them out, knocking out Granada, all but through against Roma. I think now, while it doesn't look good in terms of Premier League position, because we could have been closer to City than it looks at the moment. And you can't, Robbie's earlier on made the point, can't rule out anything. He thinks that's still our chance. He just pushed them all the way. I know
they could win it this weekend.
We lose to Liverpool and they beat Palace.
Oh,
so
Liverpool now.
We have to,
He's got. I hate to say this because I love beating Liverpool. It's something I really enjoy.
Are you going to say what I think you're going to say?
He might have to rest players against Liverpool. Oh wait, no. We're 6-2 up. Sorry, I forgot we won 6-2. No.
Ooh, that's a mad comment there. You just remember, thankfully, that we are winning by a considerable margin. Thank goodness for you.
For some reason, I was still in the mindset it was like 2-2 or something because I still can't quite process what's just gone on, to be honest. Like, it was just, I don't know about you, but I literally feel like my head's been put in a tumble dryer. And it's just been spanning
absolutely. I felt the same way with tonight as I did with Southampton, Leeds, Leipzig, and Paris. For me, which are four of the high points we've had this season. Liverpool as well, sorry. The 5 high points before tonight we've had this season. All of those, in their own way, had a big impact on Man United's season. We're now looking at Sunday as a game we should still take seriously because it's Liverpool. Having got the measure of them in the Cup and drawn away to them in the league this season, we could have won. We should have won, actually, rather than could have. With a chance on Sunday, not only to help our case to secure Champions League football for next season, but to also dent their hopes of getting into the top 4. The thought of it is tantalising in more ways than one, Alexi. So
it's going to be good, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be really interesting. I mean, the thing is as well. So people seem to think our best 2 seasons post Ferguson were coming 6th and winning the Europa League and the Cup and coming 2nd. But this is like a crossover of both seasons if we can win the Europa League because we come 2nd and win the Europa League, which it shows. I mean, if that is how the season ends, I mean, even if we come 3rd and win the Europa League, that's a very good season. Not very good. I'm going to say it's a very good season. You don't always, some clubs have never won a European trophy in their history, right? We would have won 2 in 4 years, I guess 3 in 13 years. Obviously, we want to be winning Champions Leagues, but while that isn't possible, you have to absolutely go for what you're in. And obviously, if we win the Europa League, it completely makes up for us getting knocked out of the Champions League. It makes up that Istanbul game. I mean, that's the game that still haunts me. But then, I guess everything happens for a reason. And if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't be about to potentially, I'm not going to, touch wood and all that, potentially win a trophy. And if, I just want to see, Ollie and Maguire and Pogba and Bruno and Cavani all running around the trophy. It would just be so beautiful to see because even players like McTominay as well and just Martial. I just love all of them. It's just a lovely bunch, It's our team when Mourinho left wasn't very likable for a few reasons. There's some characters in that team that none of us really liked, but I think everyone likes most of our players now. You can't dislike many of them. I know a few get scapegoated, online, but can anyone really tell me they actually dislike Martial?
No.
He's a lovely man. Same with Pogba. Pogba is mint, and Rashford, Greenwood. We've got a really good bunch of players, and I mean, I've been watching those Champions League games last 2 nights.
Same here, to be honest. It's like we're telepathic all of a sudden. Like, watch all the big ones.
Well, if we were playing in those games, I think we would have won both of them. I think we would have beaten Real Madrid. And I think Chelsea actually played very well against Real Madrid. I just think they didn't take their chances. I think Tuchel coached a 3-1 win, to be honest. And then last night as well, it's not beyond the realms to say we would have beaten PSG or City, because we've beaten PSG away a lot of times.
And beat City this season, yeah.
So to me, it's really not beyond the realms that we could have won those games. So when we are in the Champions League, as long as we don't get banned or anything because of our involvement in
nonsense, yeah, I know.
I think we've got a really good chance. But obviously, the good thing about winning the Europa League as well will be pot 1 in the group.
Yes.
So we shouldn't get shafted again. Hopefully.
Last year we were shafted. Yeah. Royally shafted.
We played 2 semi-finalists in the group stage.
Oh. And Istanbul, which for what it's worth, nice club, lovely people there in Turkey. But, and they still... I bet you now, while they're languishing in the relegation zone in the Super League, so shocking to say that, and they play... In fact, I believe they played today. Let me just find out what their final score was, because those obviously will know the fact we lost to Istanbul led to our demise in the Champions League. How did they do this afternoon? So they won. They're out of the relegation zone, actually. Oh, lucky.
How did we lose to them?
I don't know. They're actually quite far out of the relegation zone. They were in it at the start of today. They played it, in fact, this afternoon. They beat, let me just check that score again, against Erzurum, who I don't think anyone has heard of. They beat them 2-1. And if they'll hop from 18th, which is a relegation spot in the Super League of Turkey, to 14th now, a full 3 points clear of the bottom 4. But with with a game in hand on one of the teams in the relegation zone.
I'm not being disrespectful to the Turkish league, but how bad are those teams at the bottom of the Turkish league?
Quite bad.
Like, on what level do you think they are? Like Championship, League One?
Modest, mid-table to low-table Championship and top League One for some of them.
Yeah.
The exceptions are those who'd be rivaling us in the Premier League, Besiktas, Fenerbahce, and Galatasaray for me. Trabzonspor, they're a bit of they're one of those Norwich, Watford kind of teams who do well in the Championship and then go up to the Premier League, but aren't so good in the Premier League.
Yeah, and, Norwich are a mad team, aren't they? Because they get relegated and promoted every other year.
Exactly, it's mad.
I guess financially, it makes sense because they get the parachute payments and then they get money for going back up.
Certainly, they do. They do have that weird, they have that weird habit of going up, going down, going up, going down, and then repeating that cycle. I don't know how the fans do it over in East Anglia. I don't know how they do it, but in more ways than one, they do it, and they do it quite well. So I hope that it leads to this. Obviously, they do better this season in the next season in the Premier League than they've done last season. But all I'm hoping for 6 points against them. To be honest, that's all I ask for. 6 points.
I think
we always beat them. Yeah, both times. I think we beat them both times last season.
Do you remember? I think I'm a bit of a touchy subject at the moment. Actually, I won't say his name. When a club legend that wasn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was caretaker manager for a few games, his first game was against Norwich. I think we beat them like 4-0.
Yes,
that's one of my memories against them. Obviously, that man is not.
His name has been disgraced for reasons that are very, very foul. And for just a small period of time, we would not like to associate him with Manchester United, despite all his good that he has done for us on the pitch, off it, he kind of has tarnished his reputation substantially.
He has kind of destroyed it, unfortunately. I mean, it reminds me a bit of. Did you ever watch WWE, Ahmed?
I do. I had my favorite era was you obviously will know. I'm sure you will agree. The years between 1997 and 2008 for me.
Like
those were the good years. Yeah, basically the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era. Those were the good ones.
So, like, do you remember that thing that happened with Hulk Hogan where they just deleted him from history?
Yes, it was.
He said that thing.
Yeah.
And they literally pretended he didn't exist for a bit. It reminds me of that with this person. It's the kind of similar situation, isn't it? I mean,
it's true. It's
true.
Me
too. Like that era of WWE was so good, wasn't it? Like, you had like, do you know what I mean? You had it was just really exciting, and the storylines were great. Like
it was,
and you had such a good like roster of wrestlers. Whereas I mean, I haven't watched it for a while, but it's not that. It doesn't seem that interesting now, really. I mean,
yeah, you kind of outgrow it. It was more like the hype of it at the time, and even still, I relive it. I watch it back sporadically over time, and who doesn't? But frankly, it feels like that with this sort of situation we're in right now, and like it's the first time we're on the show when it's obviously since the news broke out about said gentleman and the allegations that were laid out against him for what he did. He's pledged not guilty and all that, but really, he's got only himself to blame. The fans can't really defend it because it's not the first time this has happened where his name is involved in such a situation. His poor brother, of course, we sympathize with him. How strong he is as well. Fantastic.
Did you watch?
Terrible.
There was a podcast with him the other week. Ryan Giggs' brother, and he spoke quite eloquently about it, but kind of just said, how much it broke him and stuff. And it's just a shame. I mean,
it is.
It brings that whole debate. Do you separate the player from the human being? I mean, I think it's good he was omitted from that Hall of Fame stuff, but I don't think John Terry should be in consideration either. Honestly, John Terry is a despicable human being, and why is he up there for this Hall of Fame nonsense? I mean,
he's one of the people I'd never want to cross paths with, simply because I have had the pleasure of briefly speaking to Rio Ferdinand, and because he's related, because direct relation to Anton, I defend Anton to the hill, and under no circumstances should he have been treated the way he was treated, but the other John Terry, how he gets in because of what happened,
it's disgraceful.
It's beyond me, Alexi.
They have all these campaigns at the moment about all they're doing to obviously eradicate racism, which obviously I agree with, but the fact that John Terry can be considered in a Hall of Fame, it's just like you're not really helping yourselves, are you? Really? And I agree. I think he's just
shambles.
Really
it's a shambles. Terrible. It's a shambles. Okay. So we've talked a lot. We're going to probably do another Let's Talk United so you can voice your concerns even further. Poor Alexi's come on while unwell today, everybody. So send him a bit of love, okay? Or his Twitter feed's there. Send him a bit. Tell him to get well soon. He deserves it. He's been through the mill like we all have tonight with that performance from Manchester United. And we're hopefully on our way to Gdansk. If I can take you all with me, we'll find out. But if not, I'll represent. If not, I will represent you all with almost the sort of valor, one would represent their army in war. Let's say that. I will enter battle in the dangerous lands of Poland for the good of my club. So,
I mean, if obviously a situation arises where you've only got one other ticket, obviously I will happily take that one other ticket. Obviously, we don't have to tell Robbie about this. We don't have to tell.
All I can do is this. Look, this is all I can do. I'm like this right now, Alexi, like this. That's all I have. If so happens that the Polish allow us to go and visit Gdansk for a short period of time, I will like this, Alexia. I'm begging it to happen. I will do everything in my power to be there and wait and watch. If I can't watch the final with my own eyes, I'll watch it in a bar. I'll probably be with a lot of United fans. I don't care how I do it. I will be there. If you're there with me, you're there with me. One way or another, we hope to celebrate a Europa League final victory. I don't want that trip to go to waste. So fingers crossed, next week goes well. We obviously have to play another game. I do wish it was a one-off like we've all said this season. Last season was a great example of what you can do with all high-stakes competitions. If you could do that again this season, we would have been celebrating being in the final. We're practically there. We can just watch Villarreal Arsenal next week and see who we meet if things should things hopefully not go wrong. Alexi, man of the match tonight?
Oh, God.
Mine is Edinson Cavani, but who I know they all played good, but you've got to pick one.
This is like the hardest man of the match ever. It's between Bruno, Cavani, and Pogba. They were all absolutely superb. I'll give it to Eddie Cavani. Pass him
the ball and watch him score all the goals. I can see it all night long.
Pogba and Bruno. Oh my bloody God, they were so good. Like it's the best they've been, I think. I mean, Pogba just bullied their defenders. He was so good. So good. I hope he signed. The worry is here that Pogba and Cavani won't be here next season. And
it's scary, isn't it? It's a scary thought. I just hope we don't have to come across it, to be honest, Alexia. I just hope you have to come across it. Anyway, you, sir, get some rest. I will speak to you hopefully on Sunday when things get better and with a hopefully positive outcome. And then we can just drool over how good Man United. If not, we can just drool over how good we were tonight again.
Or talk about WWE again for a bit.
Yes, let's do that. We'll waffle. We'll just a waffle at some point. But my friend, get some rest. Have a good night. I will see you on Sunday.
Cheers,
Take care, lads.
See you soon.
See you soon, mate. Wonderful to see Alexi as ever, as flamboyant and as graceful a man he is, and what a legend he is as well. Manchester United 6, Roma 2. We're in all but in the final. As I've said, I'm doing whatever I can to get myself. If I can drag Alexi along with me, I will. To get to Gdansk, all roads lead to Poland. And as long as the Polish government are nice and let us go there, I will do everything in my power to go to Poland. Color doesn't, for me, the color of my skin doesn't matter. I support this club, this team, and I will do anything I can to get there to support them. It's been a goddamn year since I've seen them play football. Missed opportunities this season have come and gone. So now it's a chance to make it happen. It's in my own hands, within my own power. May 26th, I will try my best to be in Poland. If I can't be in Poland, it's because football got in the way and lots of other things happening as well. But again, we are all but in the Europa League final. Manchester United have done the job tonight. It's now on to Liverpool on Sunday, and hopefully an equally impressive performance will hopefully carry us to the securing a UEFA Champions League spot for next season. And that will be great. And you're obviously going to see me with different backgrounds. The ones that you have here, it won't look like this. Hotel rooms maybe like in Sofia, Istanbul, or Herning in Denmark like I've been on this season. Liverpool even for a little bit. For reasons, obviously, I can't take that are not my fault. But I'm so happy with the performance tonight. And we are on the verge of something very special with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and these players tonight. So fingers crossed, job is done next week. Victory against Liverpool as well to add to that. And we just finished the season as strongly as possible. As I said tonight, man of the match, Edinson Cavani, 2 goals, fantastic assist for Greenwood to score the 6th tonight. The team performance in the second half, astounding and incredible to watch. So really, there's not much more I can say here to add to the value of what's already been a spectacular game of football by Man United. And we've really We really got it in our own hands now to kick on and win this Europa League. So, from me, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, once more, please like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you ever wish to join our shows, the Stream UEL link will always be in the description for any fans of joining to come in and talk to me about the game. Also, it will happen to be on our Twitter feed. And now next time, remember to put it in the StreamYard chat. But enough from me. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. United 6-2. to Manchester United for the second time this season. A meaningful victory by this scoreline. Now it's just about getting to Poland, one way or another. I'll see you all on Sunday. Until then, see you soon. Bye-bye.